Hi there everybody and welcome along to the Big Quiz Night In. We are back. Yes, it's another show. This is episode 119 and welcome along to you all. Let's see then, who have we got in the chat this evening then? Hello to Sue and the Donuts. Hi to Pinky and the Brain. Good evening to you. And Millie's there as well saying good evening. Hope you're all doing really well. It's great to see you, and it was great to see some of you for real last week. That was a fantastic night out. I'm sure we'll talk more about it as the show goes on, but it was the in-person meetup last week. You all came down to my pub quiz and that was great. But yes, good evening to you all. Welcome along. Do get in the chat if you're watching along. Let me know you're watching. It'd be great to talk to you tonight. We have got 3 quiz rounds as always, followed by the usual game show quiz rounds. But up first, we're going to go over to the kids question and see if we can get you some bonus points. So that'll be the first thing we do. And yes, Millie, it was great to meet some of you. Absolutely. Lots of different things to talk about this evening. So let's go over first of all to the kids question and see if we can get you some all-important bonus points. Okay, here they are.
Bonjour.
We've got Abby and Rue are here today. So let's bring up the question then
And
for
I need
you.
to crouch again.
Yeah,
Even
sorry.
lower this time.
There's not much I can do. Who else have we
can
got
do
here?
this.
Oh, the Brazilians are saying hello as well. Yeah, but look, you're adjusting the whole thing when you do that. Stop it. Anyway, no, that's too high. That's too high. Go down a bit. There we go. Right.
Sitting
So,
on the wall today.
if you get
Abby,
this...
you're the size of me.
If you get this question correct, you get bonus points that you can spend or give to your team score at the end of one of the first 3 quiz rounds as always. So do have a guess in the comments, A, B, C or D. I think hopefully some of you will get this one right. So here's the question. Abby, do you mind reading it out?
It's the Quizmaster's birthday tomorrow.
Yay! Round of applause, everyone!
What star sign is he?
What star sign am I then if my birthday's tomorrow? So you've
Is it
got...
A, Cancer, B, Leo, C, Libra, or D, Aries?
Very good, thank you. Right.
God.
A, B, C or D. Have a guess in the chat then. Everybody that gets it right gets a bonus point for their team. And let's see how many of you can have a guess. So Sue and Millie are having a guess already. Let's see if we can get some more in and then
Got
you can
my
read
star
out what the
sign
winner
on
is.
there.
Birthday boy.
I got mine.
Okay, don't say that. Don't say that.
They don't know which one it is.
I just put 4 random ones on there, or 3 random ones on my own one. Some more guesses in the comments then. Let's have a couple more guesses then. We've got a few more of you watching tonight, so let's see if we can get a few more. Don't be shy. Brazilians are now watching. Thank you for joining us. There's their guess as well. And... any more for any more? Last call. Let me just check the count. Okay, that might be about it for now. Right, let's go through then. So we have got Millie saying B, Sue and the Donut saying B. We've got Pinky and the Brain saying B, and Jude of Brazilians are all saying B. Maybe this question was a bit too easy. Let's have a look. Ruben, why don't you tell them now what the answer is?
It is B!
Yes. That
How
is a
does
Leo.
everyone know?
Wow. I don't
Star
know.
signs are very popular things.
Yes, some people remember these things better than others, maybe. I don't know.
You've never said it on a quiz before, have you?
Should I say which star sign I was?
You can say which one you are.
I was a Libra.
You're a Libra. Okay. All
She's
right.
a Libra.
I'm so close to being a Scorpio, but I'm a Libra.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much for helping. Let's see, Ruben, let's say who's got all the bonus points, because it's basically everybody.
Okay.
Millie?
We got Millie, Sue, Gabby,
Jew. Just say Jew.
Jew.
Jew, for sure, yeah. And
Pizza.
Peter has also said Leo, but it depends if the Brazilians are entering as 2 separate teams or not. You only get the bonus for 1 per team. But yes, it is
wait,
Leo.
there's a very special comment there.
Oh, and thank you, Sue. She says, happy birthday for tomorrow. Lovely. Yeah. Well, we're going to have some fun tonight now.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Say goodnight then, kids. Thanks for helping as always.
Boop, you never know.
Okay, right then, back with you then. Kids have gone now. Thank you all for that. We've got the usual countdown conundrum on screen. There'll be one of those per quiz round. And those 3 quiz rounds tonight are a sport and leisure round, a precious gems round, and a trivia pursuit round. Precious gems is trivia just with a connection to gems or words that also are gems. So I'm not literally just going to be asking about precious gems. That's just the theme of the round. You'll get the hint when we actually get to it, I'm sure. But the first round is sport and leisure. Pete says tonight we are one awesome team. Okay, just the one bonus point then for you. Although I do appreciate the extra comments as always. Thank you. All right, so let's just get straight into it, shall we? We've got a few other bits and pieces to talk about tonight. Patrons are already aware of some of the things I'm going to say tonight, but we'll get into it as we go. Now, 15 questions, 1 point for each correct answer, unless otherwise stated, and we'll go through the answers at the end, so don't put any more guesses in the comments, please, for these 3 quiz rounds as always. Sport and leisure is round number 1. Here is question number 1. The Barmy Army travel around the globe following which sport? The Barmy Army travel around the globe following which sport? That's your first question then in the round. The other thing that's going on tonight, excuse me while I just take a sip. I said I'd use it. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Question number 2. What type of fruit is on top of the Wimbledon men's singles trophy? What type of fruit is on top of Wimbledon men's singles trophy? Millie says, haha, it's the mug. It is. It is. An awesome little present you guys got me. Thank you very much. Although I don't drink tea or coffee, so it's just got water in it. But I do enjoy hot chocolate and honey and lemon occasionally. So that's the primary use for it, I believe. But I had to bring it onto the show. Of course I did. Yeah, I always run out of water in my bottle as well during the quiz, and I keep thinking I should have a bigger bottle, but at the same time I've now got that mug, so I can have some backup water. Keep me going. Right, question number 3 for 4 points. Which spaces are in the 4 corners of a Monopoly board? Which spaces are in the 4 corners of a Monopoly board? Yeah, Cabby says water. It is, honestly, I promise you it is. Nowadays I always just drink water on the show. I know I went through a phase, particularly through lockdown, of having a beer or some occasionally a glass of wine or two on the show. But no, I'm much better now. I save my drinking for when I go to the actual pub quiz or occasionally off camera at home. It's not to say it'll always be the case, but hey. Question 3 again, which spaces are in the 4 corners of a Monopoly board? Now, for those on the Patreon quiz night recently, we did Tenable, again, our new Tenable game. And one of the questions was about the 5 spaces before and the 5 spaces after the go to jail square, which I've just given you one of the answers, but you would already know that. But the others were mentioned in that show. So if you struggle with your Monopoly, but you were on that Patreon quiz night, you may have got some of the answers now, because I think some people forget these things. I did the same quiz for my colleagues at work as well. They loved it. But that's Tenable on our Patreon quiz nights sometimes. Question 4. Which Olympic sport do toxophilites compete in? Which Olympic sport do toxophilites compete in? I will put it in the chat just so you know how it's spelt. Not that I think it helps much, but for what it's worth, there you go. What Olympic sport do they compete in? That's question 4. Your next question will be for 3 points, 1 point for each correct word. What does, for question 5, the abbreviation SLR mean to a photographer? What does the abbreviation SLR mean to a photographer? 1 point for each correct word again there. Remember, this is a sport and leisure round, so there will be more of those questions cropping up. It's not just going to be sport. But what does the abbreviation SLR mean to a photographer? We got some apologies in the messenger group earlier on. I think, let me just go back and check, because it's a shame that some people couldn't be here tonight. But Catherine and Tony send their love. They normally would be here, but they'll be back to normal next week. They're away in Shropshire this week. Lovely. Okay. Hope you have a great evening, they say. Yeah, that's great. No, it's always nice to hear from people, whether you can make it or not. I love the fact we've got this community and we keep in touch. That's nice. Okay, your next question. Question number 6. What is the Curragh in Ireland? What is the Curragh in Ireland? That's question 6 for 1 point. Question number 7 for 4 points. Name the 4 positions that must be filled to play a game of Quidditch. Name the 4 positions that must be filled to play a game of Quidditch. 1 point for each. Question number 8 now. Question 8. The BCGBA is a British governing body of which sport? The BCGBA is a British governing body in which sport? That's just a 1 point question. You just need to name the sport, not what it stands for, okay? The BCGBA is a British governing body in which sport? A reminder there for the countdown conundrum. If you can work that out by the end of this round, you get 2 bonus points. And you all got the bonus point there from the question from the kids earlier on. That means that you can add that 1 point onto your final score as well. Use it for one of the 3 rounds this evening. One of the first 3 rounds. Question number 9 now. Question number 9. Who managed England and the World 11 squads for the 2022 Soccer Aid match? Who managed England and the World 11 squads for the 2022 Soccer Aid match? They are both former Premier League managers. That doesn't narrow it down much, but still. But 1 point for each there. Question number 10 now. Question 10. Now, in this round and the next round, there are questions very loosely connected to something to do with my birthday, just for fun. If you get this right, you get 2 points, even though it would normally only be a 1 point question. Okay, and the same will be for a bonus point will be available for a similar kind of question on that theme in the next round. Okay, so question 10, this is for 2 points. Which toys launched in 1984, year I was born, were advertised as robots in disguise? Which toys launched in 1984 were advertised as robots in disguise? 2 points if you get that correct, a bonus point because of the theme. Which toys launched in 1984 were advertised as robots in disguise? Question 11 now. This one's for 3 points. This one's all about video games. Which video games introduced us to the characters named Lord Richard Croft, Agent 47, and Desmond Miles? Which video games introduced us to the characters named Lord Richard Croft, Agent 47, and Desmond Miles? For 3 points. They're 3 different video game franchises. And they are franchises. I'll give you a bit of a clue there. They are franchises. They're multiple games in the series, if that helps at all. Lord Richard Croft, Agent 47, and Desmond Miles. Name the 3 video game franchises they are from. Okay, question 12 now. Which king in a standard deck of cards has no moustache? Which king in a standard deck of cards has no moustache? We've got a couple of packs of cards I was bought for either birthday or Christmas a few years ago, that are Star Wars themed, of course. So I wouldn't stand a chance in getting this question right, because all the picture cards, Jack, Queen and King, for all the suits, are all characters from the films. Very rarely play with a normal deck of cards, so I wouldn't pay attention to that kind of thing. So good luck. Which king in a standard deck of cards has no moustache? So work out the suit that king is from. Question 13. Which 3 EFL football teams were promoted via the playoffs last season? Which 3 EFL football teams were promoted via the playoffs last season? Okay, then your next question. Question 14. Which European golfer on the PGA Tour is currently the highest ranked in the world? Which European golfer on the PGA Tour is currently the highest ranked in the world? Okay, and your next question and final question for the round. Which US states are home to the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, and the Green Bay Packers? Which US states are home to the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, and Green Bay Packers? 1 point for each correct answer there. We're going to go through the answers then for this round very soon. If you want any questions repeated, now is the time to confirm that to me. Let me know in the chat. I will repeat whatever questions you want me to. And whilst I wait to see if you want any of those, I'm just double checking one of the answers to make sure it is accurate still. Let me just check. Okay. Looking good. A reminder that you get a bonus point if you get question 10 correct, so that's a 2-point question, even though it's a 1 point or 1 word answer. There's a bonus point for that. We'll do the same in the next round as well. And then we'll go through those answers in just a moment. I'm just checking one more thing. Make sure we are good to go. And let's see how you get on. Right. Okay, right, let's go. So, question number 1 then. The Barmy Army travel around the globe following which sport? It is cricket. So cricket there for number 1. Question 2. What type of fruit is on top of Wimbledon men's singles trophy? It is a pineapple. It's a pineapple. It's so random. I know there's going to be a reason for it, but it just seems so random. Like, how many people maybe put strawberry for that one? Because you think Wimbledon, you think tennis, and it's a fruit. It's got to be strawberry, right? It's synonymous with Wimbledon. No, it's a pineapple. Question 3. For 4 points, which spaces are in the 4 corners of a Monopoly board? It is go, jail, free parking, and go to jail, which I did mention there. Right, so that's 4 points there. Go, jail, free parking, and go to jail. Your next one, which Olympic sport do toxophilites compete in? It is archery. Archery for that one. Your next question was number 5. SLR stands for single lens reflex. Single lens reflex. So that's 3 points there, 1 point for each correct word. Question 6. What is the Curragh in Ireland? It is a race course for horses. So just a race course would be enough really, or a horse race track, anything like that. Question 7. The 4 positions that must be filled to play a game of Quidditch for 4 points are keepers, chasers, beaters, and seekers. Keeper, chaser, beater, seeker. Question 8. The BCGBA is a British governing body in which sport? That is crown green bowling. Question 9. The managers of England and the World 11 squads for the 2022 Soccer Aid match were Harry Redknapp for England and Arsene Wenger for the World 11. Question 10. For 2 points, the toy that were launched in 1984 advertised as robots in disguise were Transformers. The collective name for them is Transformers. They're made up of Autobots and Decepticons, but Transformers is the name of the toy, the overall collective name for them. Question 11. Which video games introduced us to the characters named Lord Richard Croft, Agent 47, and Desmond Miles? So Lord Richard Croft is from the Tomb Raider series of games. It's Lara Croft's father, who's often like the one mentioned and missing or dead, or various different iterations of the story, I guess, over the years. But Lord Richard Croft there is Lara Croft's dad, and that's from Tomb Raider. Agent 47 is the main character in the Hitman series of games, and in some of, or at least one of, the Assassin's Creed games, you will find Desmond Miles. So for 3 points, it is Tomb Raider, Hitman, and Assassin's Creed. Question 12. The king in a standard deck of cards that has no moustache is the King of Hearts. Question 13. Which 3 EFL football teams were promoted via the playoffs last season? It is Luton Town, Sheffield Wednesday, and Carlisle United for 3 points. Question 14. Which European golfer on the PGA Tour is currently the highest ranked in the world? That was Rory McIlroy. Question 15. Which US states are home to the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, and the Green Bay Packers? It is the New York Buffalo Bills, or Buffalo Bills in New York. The Miami Dolphins are, of course, in Florida, and Green Bay is Wisconsin. So New York, Florida, and Wisconsin for 3 points. 1 point for each. Start tallying up those scores then. Let me give you the answer for the Countdown Conundrum. That tonight was, for this first round, chocolate. I thought this is one we'd already done, but apparently not. I had checked. But chocolate is for 2 points there, the Countdown Conundrum answer. Tally up those scores then. Let me know how you did in the comments. Now, whilst you're doing that, the answer for number 8 again, Millie, was Crown Green Bowls. Crown Green Bowls. So not 10-pin bowling, but Crown Green Bowls. Okay, got some scores coming in now. Thank you for that. Whilst you're doing that, Patreons will already have seen this post, I hope. They got a little bit of advanced warning, but from tomorrow for a week, there is a 20% off sale in the merch store. And I'm going to start I do very loosely mention it, but I haven't really promoted anything for it for a long time actually. But it is still there. It's still up and running. There's 6 different designs I think I've got on there now. Not just my Big Quiz 19 logo. There's lots of other things there you can get. So if you'd like to support me that way, that would be awesome. You can get the quiz stuff on t-shirts, on bags, shopping bags, rucksacks, mugs, all sorts of stuff. And that would be a really fun way if you could support me. Much appreciated. No pressure. It's just there, and it's 20% off for a week. So enjoy that. I'll share the link I'll share the link probably after the show. But the Patreons have already been made aware of that. A little perk, I suppose, I used to do more often was to give them more advance notice of these things. So I'm going to start doing that a bit more often. I think they normally do one sale per month, but it's not always as big as 20%. So if you're interested, then have a look over the next few days. Right, scores. Donuts have got 21 points. Pinky and the Brain have got 19 plus 2 for the conundrum there. 16 plus 2 for Britzillians. 9 plus the 1 bonus point there for Millie. Well done. And the Britzillians are posted again. Thank you, Vernia. 16 plus 2. Any more for any more, let me know in the chat. Any more scores. And of course, if you're watching a repeat of this, if it's not live right now and you're just watching it for fun or whatever, please do leave a comment anyway. Let me know how you get on. Okay, right, so that's the end of the sport and leisure round then, and your countdown conundrum has been revealed. Those are all the scores. Let's go to the next subject, I think. And there is also a brand new conundrum for this round. You'll have until the end of this question round to work that one out as well. This particular round then is precious gems, so 1 point for each, as all with every quiz round, unless otherwise stated. Plenty of bonus points available. The round itself, every question or answer has a reference to a precious gem in it. Okay, so here we go then with question number 1. Which artist created the famous diamond skull? Which artist created the famous diamond skull? Question number 2. Which city was Dorothy trying to find in The Wizard of Oz? Oh, Catherine and Tony have managed to join us. Sorry we're late, but we are here now and on holiday. It's a bit grey. Oh, well, perfect excuse to sit and enjoy the quiz. Well, yeah, we've just done question 2 for this round. So hopefully you heard both of those and you can have a go at this one. I can repeat questions if you missed them, of course. Just let me know. So yeah, question 2 again. Which city was Dorothy trying to find in The Wizard of Oz? Question number 3 now. Which Russian jeweler is most famous for his imperial Easter eggs? Which Russian jeweler is famous for his imperial Easter eggs? Just the surname will do for this one. You don't have to give me the first name, although it would be impressive if you did know that as well. But certainly the surname you may well be familiar with. Question number 4 is for 2 points. Which 2 top footballers at the time had a UK hit record with Diamond Lights? Which 2 top footballers had a UK hit record with Diamond Lights? 1 point for each. You might notice occasionally on the bottom corner of the screen there, Big Quiz 19 is now on Threads, if anybody's using that as well. So that is essentially Facebook's answer to Twitter, which in itself has changed now to X. I don't know. The logo's changed. It's still called Twitter if you look at the app. But anyway, long story short, Threads is somewhere else where you can follow me if you're using that at all. I've been sharing some quiz stuff there too. Question 5. What was the name of the famous diamond that was stolen in the movie called the... Yeah, what was the name of the famous diamond that was stolen in the movie called The Pink Panther? What was the name of the famous diamond that was stolen in the movie called The Pink Panther? What did they call the diamond? That's question 5 in your Precious Gems round. This next question I'm going to have to tell Ruben about. He absolutely adores this particular subject very much, which is a bit of a clue as to the kind of age range of you might be thinking about for this one. Question 6. In which best-selling video game do you collect Chaos Emeralds? In which best-selling video game do you collect Chaos Emeralds? You'd be very excited if you heard me ask that. Question number 7 now. Question 7. What type of precious gem is the Star of India? What type of precious gem is the Star of India? It is one of the world's largest of its kind, but what type of precious gem is it? Question number 8 next. Question number 8. Who had the first UK hits with songs called Ruby, Yellow Pearl and Diamonds Are Forever? Who had the first UK hits with songs called Ruby, Yellow Pearl and Diamonds Are Forever? Three points available there then. Ruby, Yellow Pearl, Diamonds Are Forever. Who had the first UK hits with those songs? Question number 9 now. Question 9. What did opal fruits change their name to? What did opal fruits change their name to? Question number 10. How many years of marriage signify a ruby wedding anniversary? How many years of marriage signify a ruby wedding anniversary? Question 11 now for 3 more points. Question 11. What precious first names did celebrity fathers Mick Jagger, Gavin Henson and Jack Osborne give to their daughters? What precious first names did celebrity fathers Mick Jagger, Gavin Henson and Jack Osborne give to their daughters? 3 different precious names, precious gem names. 1 point for each again. Okay, then your next question. Question 12. Now, question 12. In which Wallace and Gromit film does Feathers McGraw plan to steal a giant diamond from the Wigan Museum? In which Wallace and Gromit film does Feathers McGraw plan to steal a giant diamond from the Wigan Museum? I think that's probably my favourite of all the Wallace and Gromit films. Yeah, I think I'd say that was my favourite. Right, question 13. What are the 4 C's of a diamond? What are the 4 C's of a diamond? 4 words very important to the making of a good diamond. What are they? 1 point for each. Again, 4 C's of a diamond. And finally, question 15. Oh no, hold on, sorry, question 14. Getting ahead of myself here. Question 14. In which movie does Marilyn Monroe sing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend? In which movie does Marilyn Monroe sing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend? Okay, now we move on to question 15. This one is for a bonus point as well, purely because, again, reference to the fact my birthday tomorrow, so I'll give you a bonus point for this one, like I did in the last round. Which precious gems signify the birthstones for the months of January, August and September? Which precious gems signify the birthstones for the months of January, August and September? If you manage to get the August one correct, then you will have a bonus point for this question. Okay? So, let me know if you need any questions repeated. I'm just double checking again something with one of these. Something I wasn't familiar with, so I'll talk about it when we get to it. Interesting. Okay, alright, so a couple of things then. Whilst you're figuring out those answers and thinking if you need a repeat of any, we had our Patreon, not just Patreon, but in-person meetup on Thursday last week. A lot of fun had by all. Some pictures were shared in the chat already. I've been meaning to post more officially about it actually, but with it being a busy week, I haven't done it yet. So I will do that though and share some of the pictures if you don't mind, because it was a lot of fun. Yeah, they all did the quiz. We had food first. They all joined in with the quiz, and then afterwards, when we'd finished, we went out for a couple more drinks in another pub that was still open at that time. Got back home about 1:30, I think. I don't know what time it was, something like that anyway. But it was a great laugh, and I very much look forward to the next time. And I think we kind of said that maybe one of the December quizzes, so we could meet up again before Christmas, would be a good one. So it might well be the 14th of December maybe, if it's a Thursday, or the 17th of December if it's a Sunday. Because the 17th, if you did the Sunday, that would be the last Sunday quiz before Christmas, so that would be a Christmas special. The 14th probably wouldn't be, because we do one on the 21st. That would be a big Christmas one. That would be very busy. But anyway, that's the kind of plan at the minute. No date confirmed yet, but if you'd like to come down, we'll do it again then. Right, let's check some of the chat. No requests, so I'm going to go through the answers, but I can see there's a comment that's come in there. So yes, a Christmas do will be fab. Yeah, it will be lovely. Thanks, Millie. Okay, so here's the answers then. Question number 1. Which artist created the famous diamond skull that was Damien Hirst? Question 2. Which city was Dorothy trying to find in The Wizard of Oz? The Emerald City. Question 3. Which Russian jeweller is most famous for his imperial Easter eggs? It is Fabergé, or Carl Fabergé for the full name, but Fabergé is enough for the point. I won't mark you down for spelling. Question 4. Which 2 top footballers had a UK hit record with Diamond Lights? That was Chris Waddle and Glenn Hoddle. Hoddle and Waddle. Question 5. What was the name of the famous diamond that was stolen in the movie called The Pink Panther? It was called The Pink Panther. That is the name of the diamond. Right, question 6. In which best-selling computer game or video game do you collect Chaos Emeralds? That's what you collect in the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Or most of them, at least. What type of precious gem is the Star of India? That is a sapphire. One of the world's largest ever found, a sapphire. Question 8. Who had the first UK hits with songs called Ruby, Yellow Pearl and Diamonds Are Forever? It's Kaiser Chiefs with Ruby, Phil Lynott with Yellow Pearl and Shirley Bassey with the Bond theme Diamonds Are Forever from the movie of the same name. Question 9. What did Opal Fruits change their name to, which confused everybody? I remember at the time, because they were just like, why? What's the point? Anyway, it's Starburst. Starburst used to be called Opal Fruits. Yeah, so that's that. Right, question 10. How many years of marriage signify a ruby wedding anniversary? 40 years. Question 11. What precious first names did celebrity fathers Mick Jagger, Gavin Henson and Jack Osborne give to their daughters? It is Jade Jagger, Ruby Henson and Pearl Osborne. So Jade, Ruby and Pearl for 3 points. Question 12. In which Wallace and Gromit film does Feathers McGraw plan to steal a giant diamond from the Wigan Museum? It is The Wrong Trousers. Question 13. What are the 4 C's of a diamond? 1 point for each here. They are clarity, cut, colour and carat. Question 14. In which movie does Marilyn Monroe sing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend? That is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And question 15 for 3 points. Which precious gems signify the birthstones for the months of January and August and September? 1 point for each. For January, it's a garnet. For August, and for a bonus point, it's a peridot or peridot. Peridot. If you got that right, you get a bonus point. So 2 points for that one. Very well done. And yeah, if you don't know what that is, it's a green colour. It's kind of like an emerald, but it's more of a lighter colour normally, a lighter green. Slightly different, but that's, yeah, it's greenish, I suppose. And the third one, for September, it's a sapphire. So, yeah, 3 points available there for you. And the answers for the Countdown Conundrum is workhorse. So 2 points if you got that correct. A bonus point if you want to use the bonus point for the kids question from earlier on. If you haven't done so already, you can add it on to this one, of course. And 2 points there for workhorse if you manage to work that out. Let me know your scores in the comments, and then we move on to Trivial Pursuit. By the way, for the game show rounds at the end, I've got 10 more of those cryptic music questions for you, or clues. The cryptic bands or artists or groups that you need to work out, 10 more of those to work out. And then we'll do we've got an Our Survey Says question as well. Sarah's in the chat. Hi, Sarah. She says, I got 10. Excellent. Well done. Not bad at all. Who else have we got for this round then? Let me know your scores, everybody. Donuts have got 21 points again. Doing well tonight. Well done. 21 points there. Whilst we wait for some more of those scores to come in, a reminder that all the links for anything you want to follow me on, all that social media stuff, just go into the description of any of my videos here, click that link, and then you'll be presented with a list of everything. So that, as usual, will be there. Didn't Kenny Rogers do a song called Ruby as well? Ooh, I think he did, but it wasn't just called Ruby. Ruby, don't bring your something to town. I was after don't take your love to town. Yeah, it was called Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town. So it wasn't just called Ruby. So yeah, good knowledge, but yeah, there's a reason why it's Kaiser Chiefs for that one. Thanks for checking that though, Pete. Millie says, very bad round for me. Oh dear. This is why you have a team. Look at how well you guys did. I mean, you didn't quite win a round, but you still did very well at the in-person quiz. You have a team of people to help you. So yeah, sometimes on your own, these rounds can be tricky. All right, Vernia says Brazilians have got 17 plus 1. Catherine and Tony, not so golden oldies. They've got 15 plus 2. They've got the conundrum, so 17 for them. Pinky and the Brain have got 18 points, plus 2, plus 1 for the Abby and Reed bonus. Great stuff. Yes, and Sarah confirming there, Ruby, don't take your love to town. There you go. Yeah, excellent. Thank you for backing me up there. Yeah, I had a feeling that Pete was right in Ruby, but I also knew there was something else after it, and that's why it was not the correct answer for that one. Okay, good stuff. Right, let's move on to the third round then. This is going to be a Trivia Pursuit round, so there's going to be a couple of sport and leisure questions in the mix for this one. We just had obviously the entire sport and leisure round for round one. This is going to be all the subjects for Trivia Pursuit mixed together, so complete general knowledge. But as long as I remember all the way through, I will tell you which subject each question is, just for your own knowledge, really. But really, it's a general knowledge round. Any of those subjects from Trivia Pursuit official subjects go. So let's see how well you do for this one then. Multiple points available again. Let's flick over to that round now, and I'll give you, of course, that third countdown conundrum. And there it is. So 2 points if you can work that one out. 2 points for the countdown conundrum. No more comments coming in, so let's make a start with this third round then. Question number 1. What are the capital cities of Bulgaria, Poland and Portugal? What are the capital cities of Bulgaria, Poland and Portugal? 1 point for each again for that question. Question number 2 then, in entertainment, which actor played the role of Superman in Superman Returns? Which actor played the role of Superman in Superman Returns? Question 3 in history. What was the name of the last president of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic? What was the name of the last president of the USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic? All right. Question 4, art and literature. Professor Calculus featured alongside which popular comic character? Professor Calculus featured alongside which popular comic character? There has also been an animated series and a film made of this as well. Professor Calculus featured alongside which popular comic character? Question 5 then, to sport and leisure. Which 3 teams earned automatic promotion in the English Football League by winning their respective Sky Bet leagues in 2023? So in round 1 this evening we talked about the 3 teams that won through the playoffs. This time I'm asking who were champions of the respective Sky Bet leagues, the Championship, League 1 and League 2. Which 3 teams earned automatic promotion in the English Football League by winning their respective Sky Bet leagues for 2023? 1 point for each. Okay, your next question then, question number 6. This is in science and nature. Where in the human body is your lunula located? Where in the human body is your lunula located? L-U-N-U-L-A. Question number 7 now is a geography question for you again. Back on geography now. As the crow flies, which 3 EU capital cities are closest to London? Question 7 in geography. As the crow flies, which 3 EU capital cities are closest to London? If you're not sure what I mean by as the crow flies, it basically means a straight line on a map. Yeah? Lunula. Is it? Lunula? I've never heard it said out loud before. Never. Unless I've said it. Lunula. Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. Because I just read it as it was said. But thank you. So, yeah. Question 7 again. As the crow flies, which 3 EU capital cities are closest to London? Question 8. Now, question 8. Which popular children's TV character attended Seaview High School? Which popular children's TV character attended Seaview High School? That's question 8 in entertainment. Question number 9. Back on history for number 9. In which American city was the original game of Monopoly set? In which American city was the original game of Monopoly set? This is not the city I thought it was going to be when I first looked into this. I had an assumption, I was wrong, and I would never have guessed this city either. Although I imagine there is one for most major cities in America, no doubt. But yeah, which American city was the original game of Monopoly set? Good luck with that one. Question number 10. In art and literature, what are the full titles of the 3 best-selling novels that make up E.L. James's 50 Shades trilogy? What are the full titles of the 3 best-selling novels that make up E.L. James's 50 Shades trilogy? I'm sure there's a perfectly valid reason for why some of you will get this exactly right. I will say anything. I mean, I only know the answers through quizzes, I swear. 3 points for that one then. Question 11 for 2 points. Which 2 drivers raced for Ferrari in the 2016 Formula One season? Which 2 drivers raced for Ferrari in the 2016 Formula One season? Very famous Formula One race car drivers. Name them for 1 point each. In the 2016 season, which 2 drivers raced for Ferrari? Question 12 now. Question 12. This is science and nature for this one. Which land animal lives the longest on Earth? Which land animal lives the longest on Earth? Alright then, your next question then. Where are we now? Question 13. In which sea does the river Danube flow? In which sea does the river Danube flow into? Name the sea, please. That's question 13 for geography. Into which sea does the river Danube flow? Question number 14 then in entertainment. Which actress gave voice to Dory in the film Finding Dory? And in Finding Nemo. But which actress gave voice to Dory in the Finding Dory film and in Finding Nemo? For 1 more point there in entertainment. And finally, question 15. This is for 3 points. In history, which British politicians delivered the following quotes? Education, education, education. They've never had it so good. And I have as much chance of becoming Prime Minister as of being decapitated by a frisbee or of finding Elvis. Question 15 again. Which British politicians delivered these quotes? Education, education, education. They've never had it so good. And I have as much chance of becoming Prime Minister as of being decapitated by a frisbee or finding Elvis. 1 point for each. Right, that's the end of that round then. Last chance to work out the countdown conundrum as well for 2 extra points. This is also your last chance to use the bonus points earned from the kids' question at the start of the show. And yes, thank you, Sarah. I would appreciate an explanation. I think I know where you're going to go with it. Knowing the answer and why it's the answer, or knowing the answer, I think I can understand why it's pronounced that way too. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, all right. Let me know in the comments afterwards. Okay, so last chance, and if you want any repeats, let me know. We are going to move on after this to the game shows round, and we'll see how well you do with those. More of those cryptic bands for you to work out, which has been a lot of fun, these last few Facebook Live quizzes. Okay, let's go through it now then. Question number 1 then. What are, in geography, the capital cities of Bulgaria, Poland and Portugal? It is Sofia, Warsaw, Lisbon. For question 15, it was just politicians. Yeah, for question 15, it was which British politicians delivered those quotes. So, yeah, Sofia, Warsaw and Lisbon for the first question. For question 2, playing Superman in Superman Returns was Brandon Routh. It was good casting, it's just that all he really did in the movie was lift things. It wasn't really much going on, which is a real shame, but he was good. Question 3. What was the name of the last president of the USSR? That was Mikhail Gorbachev. Question 4. Professor Calculus featured alongside which popular comic character? It is Tintin. Hergé's Adventures of Tintin. He has a character friend in there called Professor Calculus. So Tintin is the answer. Question 5 now, sports and leisure. Which 3 teams earned automatic promotion to in the English Football League by winning their respective Sky Bet leagues in 2023? Burnley won the Championship, Plymouth Argyle won League 1 and Leyton Orient won League 2. Question 6, in science and nature, where in the human body is your lunula located? It is in your fingernail. It's the white crescent shape at the base of your fingernail. So if it's, my theory is right now, if it's crescent shaped, it's therefore like the moon can be crescent shaped, and lunar meaning moon, lunula therefore might well be the way, or is the way you pronounce this word, even though it's spelt lunula. That's my thought process, Sarah. Maybe you can correct me, but it sounds like a good connection to me. Derived, yeah, so I'm close there. Excellent. Derived from the Latin for little moon because it, small crescent. Yeah, very good. Okay, I like that. Thank you. All right, next question is in geography for question 7. As the crow flies, which 3 EU capital cities are closest to London? It's Brussels, Paris, and Amsterdam. Right, question 8. Which popular children's TV character attended Seaview High School in entertainment? This is Hannah Montana for question 8. Or Miley Stewart, I think, was her alter ego in the show. Yeah, obviously played by Miley Cyrus, but yeah, Hannah Montana. Question 9 in history, in which American city was the original game of Monopoly set? Monopoly was originally set in Atlantic City. My gut went with New York. As soon as I read that question out for the first time, I'm thinking, oh, probably New York. Very famous city, surely. But no, Atlantic City. Question 10. Art and literature. What are the full titles of the 3 best-selling novels that make up E.L. James's 50 Shades trilogy? It is 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed. Question 11. Sport and leisure. Which 2 drivers raced for Ferrari in the 2016 Formula 1 season? It is Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen. Question 12 in science and nature. Which land animal lives the longest on Earth? That is the giant tortoise of the Galapagos Islands. Question 13. Into which sea does the river Danube flow? It flows into the Black Sea. Question 14 in entertainment. Which actress gave voice to Dory in the Finding Nemo and Finding Dory films? That is Ellen DeGeneres. And finally, question 15. The 3 politicians then. Education, education, education was Tony Blair. They've never had it so good was Harold Macmillan. And the last one, I have as much chance of becoming Prime Minister as of being decapitated by a frisbee or of finding Elvis, was Boris Johnson. I'm pretty sure he hasn't been decapitated by a frisbee, so he must have found Elvis. Yeah. He said that. Alright, so tally up those scores. In the meantime, here's the answer for your countdown conundrum. It's homeopath. Homeopath, that's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Let's see how many of you worked that one out though. 2 points if you got that right. This is the last chance to use the bonus point from the kids question if you got that right earlier on. So make sure you add that onto your totals and let me know how you got on with this final round before our game shows rounds. Where we will move on to an Our Survey Says question, and then we will play the cryptic music round. And we'll see how you get on there. Scores are starting to come in. Sarah says, 9 for me. Let's meet up and throw frisbees in Didcot, where Boris Johnson was this week. No. Oh, he's lucky that I had left and moved to Appington. I would have indeed taken frisbees. Yeah, I did not know he was there. I had no idea. 18 points though for Britzillians. The donuts have got 20 with the bonus. Couldn't get the conundrum this time. That was a tricky conundrum in fairness. Don't worry about it. Millie's got 11 points there. Very good. Well done. Last few teams, get your scores in the comments then. Let's see how well you've done, and then we will move on to that next round. Catherine says 11 for the not so golden oldies. I think we peaked last round. Okay, well, I'm sure you'll do well with these next 2 runs then. Any more for any more? Let me just check. I've got 2 different screens going on here again just to make sure I don't miss any chat. Donuts have got 20 with the bonus as well. Sorry if I already said that. It looks different on my different screens. All right, going to move on. Please do keep commenting though, and you have to for the next questions because we're moving on now to Our Survey Says. So for this one, there we go. Oh yeah, Pinky in the Brain got 20 and we went to see Barbie at Cineworld. Can't believe he was 5 minutes from my house. Hopefully he didn't stay too long. Yeah. I wonder, why was he there? Why was he there? You don't have to put it in the comments. I'll look it up. But just like, what are you doing? Go away. You're not welcome here. Oh dear. Anyway, we're going to Dash now. Thanks for a cracking quiz. All right, no worries. Thanks, Pete. Okay, the question is on screen now. Name a reason you would go for a drink after work. Guess in the comments. Let's see how quickly you can get this top 6 answers from a survey of 100 people. Let's see how well you do with this one then, and then you can help us work out some more of those cryptic bands. So, yes, a reason you would go for a drink after work. Let's see what these answers look like then. Have a guess. Let's have one guess per team if you can in the comments, and then we'll start revealing them, and then it'll be a free-for-all, and you can guess as many times as you like until we work them all out, and I'll give you clues for them if I need to. Right, so Sue and the Donuts have said to chill. Is it simply to chill? Did that make it? It's not there. It's not there. Catherine and Tony have gone with a birthday celebration. Wow, that sounds awfully familiar. Yes, that is the second most popular answer. It's not the top answer though. Actually, do you know what? Yeah, I think I'll give you a clue actually, because to chill, it's not specifically there. Be a bit more specific. You might get the top answer. Yeah, I can't quite give it for just to chill. You'll see what I mean when you see the answer. You're on the right lines, but it's not quite right enough. Ju says leaving. Yes, okay, so leaving is there, but whereabouts is it in the list? That is the sixth answer. Alright, so yes, if you're leaving or going to a leavers do, then yes, that's the sixth answer. Socialising with colleagues and team bonding in general, is that there? Again, not specifically, no. Stress, no. Gossip, no. Someone's joining or leaving, no. To unwind, yeah, okay. I think that's as close as it can be without being exactly right. So the top answer is a hard day. So if you've had a hard day, you could argue to chill because you've had a hard day, but to chill could also be just because you wanted to chill. Whereas you would probably unwind because you've had a hard day. You need to unwind. So that's why I'm revealing the answer there for that one. Of course, you would, though, gossip and de-stress whilst you were there at the time, you would hope. So let's have some more reasons then in the comments, please. Christmas party, is that one of those reasons? It's not in the top 6. It was in, if I expanded this out, which I could have done, it would have been there, but not in the top 6. Not for team building, no. You talked about joining and leaving, but what else could happen from a work perspective? Celebrate a good day at work, landing a deal maybe. Is that there? No. Also, it might not be because of work that you're there, just that you're there after work. So what's another good reason to be there? Or to go for a drink? Perhaps not on your own. Interesting guesses. Retirement, promotion, to avoid the misses, work anniversary. One of you's got one of the answers here, and that one is promotion. If you got a promotion, you would go for a celebratory drink after work, wouldn't you? The others are not there. After being fired, he says, well, I think that class is under leavers, regardless of the reason for leaving. We'll put that under the number 6, I think, won't we? You've got 2 more left, one of which, in fact, neither of these are directly related to the fact you've just left work, okay? To meet friends, oh, so close. What about a special friend? And also, what about for no reason whatsoever, but perhaps it's just that particular time? Trying to give you some clues here. Closing of business deals, discussing business, no, not in the top 6. Couple more guesses and then I will reveal these answers, I think. What else could it be? Flirting. Oh, sorry, did I miss one? Flirting. I think some of you, yeah, to meet your lover. There you go, meeting a partner. You're starting to get the gist of it now. All right. Let's just reveal that answer then. Number 4, on a date. Yes, so well done if you put something along those lines. Yes, flirting, meeting a lover, meeting a partner. Maybe that's also under avoiding the misses, although you'd hope not. Watching the football's not there. These are all great guesses, but no. The last one is because it's a particular day of the week. But yes, Sarah, to play a quiz, of course, should be in the top. it should be the top answer really, but unfortunately it's not. Literally, number 5 is because it is a Friday. That's it. Because it's a Friday. Yeah, Millie's got in there as well because it's a Friday. Yeah, that's it. I believe a couple of the other answers, if you go further down the list, it was like Monday. Pff, why not? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just because. Those are my favourites. But yeah, Friday did make it into the top 6. Good. All right, well done. You worked all those out. Yeah, Sue and the Donuts get Friday in there as well, just as I was saying it. So, good stuff. All right. On to the final round. Let's see how many of these you can guess correctly then. So, you have, as I've been doing every week for the last few weeks and will continue to do going forward, you have 10 cryptic clues for bands, artists or groups, very famous ones at that, and you just need to, chart toppers from all eras of chart music, you just need to work them out, 1 point for each. Tell me in the comments, so give me the number of the one you're guessing and what you think the answer is. Let's see how quickly we can rattle through this list then. You're normally pretty good at these, so I look forward to seeing how quickly you can get them. And I will also have to get my list of answers up to make sure I can remember them all. Ah, yes, there we go. Right. Okay, so Catherine says, and Sarah is number 7, 4 non-blondes. Let's have a look. Quartet of brunettes. It certainly makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, that is 4 non-blondes. Well done. We'll give that one a big tick. We're up and running now. Sarah says 9 is Squeeze. Get paste from a tube. Sounds perfectly logical. And it is correct. Well done. Gary then says 6 is that Queen. Number 6 then, Victoria, Mary, Elizabeth. Those are all queens. And it is the correct answer. Well done. Keep those guesses coming in. Some of these are a little bit trickier tonight. I think you'll still smash it. You normally do with these. Ed says is number 8 Presidents of the United States of America. It most certainly is. Number 8, position held by Joe Biden. In the original version of this quiz round I had, and I have had it for a long time, case in point, it says position currently held by George W. Bush. That's how long I've been holding on to this quiz and not used it. And there's, like I said, there's like 200 or so of these. Ed says, bit late, hey peeps. So I think you just rock up at the end hoping to join in with this round, Ed. That's it, isn't it? Which is fine, but still. Yeah, we do try and start at about 8 o'clock. Bad Company for 3. Okay, let's set that one out of the way then. Is Bad Company number 3? Let's have a look. So Not a Good Firm is a Bad Company. Very good. Gabby says 4 is that Boys to Men. Number 4, Young Lads Grow Up. It is Boys to Men. Yep. And number 1 is Paradise Nirvana. Again from Gabby. That's correct as well. So number 2 we're looking for now. Number 5 and number 10 are the last ones you need to work out. Number 2, Gabby says it's on fire at the minute. Bloodhound Gang for number 2. Search Dog Posse. Search Dog, Bloodhound, Posse, Gang. Yes, you got it. Yes, number 5, 50 Cent. 2 quarters make up 50 Cent. I thought that would have got much quicker, to be honest. But yeah. Right. This last one I knew would be left till last. This is a proper cryptic one. Stop, Jock, and Stop, Jock. So think of another word for stop, and think of another word for jock, and then put them together. This is, yeah. Once you know it, you're like, of course it is. Of course it is. But it is tricky. And I understand why it's not been guessed yet. Let me see if I can give you a hint with one of their songs. They were a duo, big in the 80s. Obviously, it's the same name twice over. They did a song called Teardrops in 1988. Probably one of their biggest songs. In fact, probably their biggest song. Oh, Sue and the Donuts have got in there. Is it Whoa Mac and Whoa Mac? So stupid. Yes, well done. Sue and the Donuts have worked it out. Whoa Mac. Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Right, well done. You have worked out all 10 once more. I knew you could do it. Now, that brings us to the end of the quiz. Thank you all, as always, for checking the quiz out and playing along. I hope you all had a great evening. So, 20% off in the merch store starts tomorrow. So, from midnight tonight onwards, I don't get Jock being Mac. Muck. Jock, Scottish. Muck, Mac, Scottish name. Or the typical start of a Scottish person's name, Mac. Just stick a K on the end. Yeah, that's the only connection I can think of. If anybody else can come up with a better one, then let me know. But that's got to be what it is. It's just the same sound. It doesn't have to be spelt the same. So yes, there is 20% off in the merch store. I will share the link wider than I previously have in a minute. I have shared it in the Patreon group already. The same kind of post will be everywhere else very soon. So yeah, if you fancy getting something big Quiz 19 branded, t-shirts, shopping bags, rucksacks, mugs, whatever, hoodies, feel free, help yourself. 20% off for the next 7 days as of midnight tonight. And yeah, thank you all for joining me. I will hopefully see you all next week for more of the same fun as always. And I'll also be sharing some pictures from the in-person quiz night that happened last week, which was great fun, and we will hopefully arrange it again for mid-December, date TBC, but bear that in mind. Nice to have a minute to join for once. It's lovely to see you in the chat here, Sarah. I'm really pleased you could join us. It has been a while, so I appreciate that. And yes, lovely comments. Sue, Catherine, Millie and Gabby, everybody, thank you all for joining. Brit Zillions as well, as always a pleasure. So I will be shooting off now. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.